Hey everybody. So this doesn't match your notes exactly, but there will come a slide near the middle here that will have exactly what you need for your notes. So for now, relax, listen to me teach, and I'll kind of remind you when we get to where it's going to match your note page. Okay, so we're talking, of course, about watersheds. Okay, when we think of the word shed, there's kind of two things that might come to mind. Shed in your backyard or an animal shedding its shell, its fur, its skin. Okay, so the land is literally shedding water down to the lowest point or joining other water that is already flowing. Okay, so if we look at that shed in the backyard, that's not too far off either. Okay, so the top of the shed could be the divide, and the sides, it's flowing down to two different watersheds. Okay, and remember we said that the Blue Ridge Mountains would be a really great example of a divide that's somewhat local to us. Okay, so again, we're going from higher elevation down to lower elevation because water is basically just following gravity. Okay. And where are we? So let's find out. So, of course, we're in Virginia in the United States of America, and we're in the city of Chesapeake here at Western Branch Middle. Okay. There's areas of higher elevation, such as ridgelines and divides that separate watersheds. We just talked about that. And Virginia has 14 major watersheds. So on this slide, these sentences, you're starting to match up with your notes. So take a second, make sure you fill in those notes. Our watershed address is in the James River. And so here it is, this kind of brown, gray beige. This is us, okay? But like I know a lot of people who are in the York one, or in the Rappahannock one, okay? But our watershed address is the James River. So, major rivers in Virginia's watersheds: Appomattox, Maury, Jackson, Ravenna, and James River. Now, I'm not familiar with Ravenna. I've usually seen people include Rappahannock in these lists, but Virginia is rich with rivers. Okay. Um, the watershed systems we have are leading to three different places, and this is still matching up with your notes, by the way. It could go to the Chesapeake Bay over here. It could go to the North Carolina Sounds down here, kind of off the map, and it could go to the Gulf of Mexico way over here off the map. Okay. The largest one, of course, as we saw, is the James, and I'll go back to that color picture. There it is. It's the biggest one we have. And the smallest one is the Yadkin. Let's see if we can find the Yadkin. This little tiny orange one. Okay. And again, we are in James. Okay. This is a color-coded map that's showing us the major watersheds. Different lists have a different number of watersheds there, but here it's showing us mainly Chesapeake Bay, North Carolina, Mississippi River, and other. Okay, and we called the Mississippi River one Gulf of Mexico in another slide because the Mississippi River goes into the Gulf of Mexico. There's usually a bigger watershed that smaller watersheds are going into. Okay. All right. The Mississippi River goes to the Gulf of Mexico, like I said, and the Chesapeake Bay and North Carolina Sounds watersheds do end up in the Atlantic Ocean. So everything that goes to the bay really ends up ultimately in the ocean. Okay. And why are our watersheds important? Well, because of the water cycle. If we pollute that water, it's going to stay polluted in all those different phases of the water cycle. We get our drinking water from the Chesapeake Bay. Okay. Taking care of our watershed is so important. Okay. So, just a quick review: biotic and abiotic, living and non-living. Think about some examples of each one. Animals, plants, people are biotic factors. Mushrooms and fungi too, and bacteria. Okay, abiotic factors, water, anything with the land, okay? All these things that are around the living things, but they aren't the living things themselves, okay? And then there's a list of photo credits for all the cool pictures that were in here. Okay, so that being said, go back if you need to go back. That is all for this set of notes. Hope you have a great day whenever you're watching this.